The Hamilton City School District Athletic Hall of Fame would not be possible without several volunteers, school employees, and committee members. At this time, we would like to thank these individuals for their efforts that make this event possible tonight. First, we'd like to thank the Sharp family for their generous scholarship presented to one male and one female Hamilton High School student athlete. Appreciate you. Jeff Tanner and Jostens for their donation of the Hall of Fame gifts. Thank you so much. I want to thank TV Hamilton and Steve Caldwell up there for your continued excellence. We appreciate you. Please give them a follow, a like, subscribe, whatever you got to do on the social medias there. This will be recorded, edited, and available at a later date for viewing. So please give it up for TV Hamilton. Life Touch Photography, thank you for being here this evening and snapping these amazing moments. And then our sponsors that are here tonight, thank you. You know who you are. We want to thank Washington, this venue, this Invite Center, and Shooters for allowing us to be able to be here tonight. Thank you so much. Our sound is supported by a dear friend of us and myself, Mark Cunningham, and S2 Hope and Future. Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate you, man. I want to acknowledge the committee members, Wayne Bowling, Joni Kopus, DJ DeLong, Mike Dole, Missy Harvey, Steve Heckman, Jerry Lauer, Ty Smallwood, Tom Townsend, John Ross, and Larry Wood. Please give them a warm appreciation. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge any past Hall of Fame inductees. If you could do me a favor, please stand to your feet. We'd like to honor you right where you are. At this time, I'd like to bring to the platform our very own athletic director, Missy Harvey, as she presents the Coach Sharp Scholarship.
Okay, well, what a great day it is to be Big Blue. I say that with the most sincerity that I can ever muster up. It is nights like this that remind me why I do my job, why I love what I do, and it's because of all of you. There is a great tradition in Hamilton. We are very proud of everybody who has come through here and everybody who is being inducted tonight. Without you, there's no Big Blue. So for me, this continues to be a motivator for what we need to do and what we need to do better. We are improving yearly with our athletics again, and I am super proud of that. And truly, it comes from nights like this where you start to get a little fuel going and a little fire burning again. So thank you for all of that. I would be remiss to not really talk about tonight's class. When I think about it, we have GMC champions in here, state runners-up, state champions, NFL players. We have a Harvard graduate. We have people who have so many other awards in here tonight. I could stand up here and list them for the next 30 minutes. That is the talent and the caliber that we have coming into this induction night tonight. So to you guys, kudos, and again, congratulations. I would be remiss if I didn't thank a few people who work really hard for me, Jamie Cox and Mike Dole, who always do everything behind the scenes to make me look really good, and I appreciate them more than they'll ever know. So I want to say thank you to them. I also would like to thank all the people who kind of came tonight or this afternoon to help me get set up and all of that. We do have some head coaches here. Head coach Arby Crouch, Jake Turner, Steve Heckman, and Elizabeth Wagner. It's always nice when you have head coaches show up for events like this. And I too would like to thank S2, Mark and Curtis. They do a tremendous job, and I will say that whenever we call them, they're always very excited to do this. So the real reason I'm up here tonight, I have the privilege of announcing that this year's Bill Sharp Scholarship winners to two of our 2025 graduates. With us tonight are Jim Sharp and his wife, Cindy. I've had the privilege of working with Jim on this, and like his father, he is the truest gentleman. I am extremely grateful for their continued support on behalf of his father. The Sharp name is very important to the Hamilton community, and these scholarships keep that name alive. Now a little bit about Coach Sharp. He graduated from Ohio State in 1928, moved to Hamilton in 1930, where he spent over 60 years impacting the lives of thousands of students and athletes. He was known to everyone simply as Coach, and his devotion to sports and fitness was overshadowed only by his desire to help people be successful and realize their potential. Coach Sharp strongly recognized a commitment to academic excellence, competing with honor, and displaying good sportsmanship all the time. Although small in stature, his actions and positive attitude cast a large shadow as a role model for generations of Hamilton youth. The gymnasium at Garfield Middle School is named in his honor, and a plaque reads, "A true gentleman that has been a positive role model for our entire community for 3 generations as a teacher and coach." He was also inducted into the Hamilton City Schools Athletic Hall of Fame in 1999. The scholarship, which started in 2010 and is awarded each year to 1 senior male and 1 senior female athlete, the recipients are chosen based on the following criteria. They must have been in 2 varsity sports during the senior year. They must have a minimum 3.0 cumulative GPA. They must display positive, outstanding sportsmanship during athletic competition. And they must display outstanding citizenship through community service. This year's recipients are Ms. Michaela Platt, represented here tonight by her sister Samira and Sammy, and Elijah Lay. And if I could have you guys come up. Just a little bit about them, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Sharp. Michaela was a 4-year member of the cheerleading squad and a 3-year varsity member of the swimming and track teams. She was a member of the school record-breaking 200 medley relay team. She served as cheer captain, and she was also named the 2024 Homecoming Queen. Michaela was able to balance so many activities at the same time, including cheer, swim, and dance during the winter season. She graduated with a 4.1 GPA and is currently attending Arizona State University. Elijah was a 4-year varsity member of the track team, a 3-year varsity member of the swim team, where he had tremendous success his senior year. He was a member of the 400 freestyle record-breaking relay team, breaking a 43-year-old record. He also broke the 15-year-old pole vault record in track by reaching 14 feet. He was the GMC champion in the pole vault and also placed 7th in the regional track meet last year. He also received the prestigious Regan Vanos Spirit Award funded by the Purple Monkey Project. Elijah graduated with a 4.55 GPA and is attending the University of Cincinnati. Both athletes were in the top 15 of their class, making them true representatives of Big Blue and the epitome of a student athlete. If I could please have Mr. Sharp come up at this time. You have to say a few things.
On behalf of our family, the Sharp family, I just want to thank the committee, Hall of Fame committee, for doing their part to help keep the memory of our dad alive in Hamilton. The use of this Hamilton, the youth of the city of Hamilton meant more to him than anything else, and just we're glad that we can carry on and keep that name out there. Thank you.
I won't put you on the spot, but do you guys want to say anything? You don't have to. Totally up to you. I didn't figure. You guys good? All right.
One more time, please. Let's honor those recipients. I would ask that everyone please silence your cell phones at this time as we continue in our evening. It would be greatly appreciated. We are going to go ahead and get started with inviting our inductees one at a time to the podium, and it is going to be in alphabetical order. So As long as you know your ABCs, you have a pretty good idea when you're going to go. Again, this is truly an honor to be here with you tonight, and this is a great opportunity for us to celebrate some incredible individuals. We're first going to start off with Randy Anderson, class of 1976. Randy Anderson, a 1976 graduate of Garfield High School, was a standout for the Griffins on the baseball field. During his junior season, Anderson burst onto the scene when he led the Griffins with a 459 batting average and earned all GMC honors. Anderson had an even stronger senior season, achieving an amazing 505 batting average. This included 56 hits, 15 doubles, and 5 home runs. Additionally, he scored 44 runs, had 44 RBIs, and 14 stolen bases. Anderson was named the team's MVP and led the league in hitting. For his performance, not only was Anderson named to the first team All-Greater Miami Conference, but was also received the most votes. Anderson received the baseball scholarship to Indiana University, where he played for 1 season before moving to Western Kentucky University. Anderson was a 2-year starter at the Hilltoppers and had a career batting average of .317. As a member of the 1980 team, Western Kentucky recorded a record of 47-13 and finished 18th ranked team in D1 baseball. Anderson was recently inducted into the Western Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame. Anderson earned a bachelor's degree in management and an MBA from Western Kentucky University, where he also met his wife, Vicky. And the two have been married for 44 years and counting. They have 2 children, Jacob Anderson and Kenda Coles, and are proud grandparents of 4 granddaughters. Anderson retired in 2020 after a distinguished career as a management executive at Toyota Motor Manufacturing. Randy Anderson. Congratulations.
Put my glasses on so I can hear. I had the privilege of being at Garfield when Coach Sharp was there, and he was a small man in stature, but a giant of a man. And I think any of us that ran across him in our life were forever changed. I have some notes that I tried to prepare, but I'm a little bit anxious, so I may have to read them. I was, in my career, I was probably known as a guy that could hit and field a little bit, but speed was never, I guess, an adjective you would use for me. So being leadoff tonight in this thing is making this even more remarkable for me. So first, I want to thank you all for this honor, and I'm truly humbled. You know, growing up in Hamilton, it's really known as a good sports town, and when I found out about this recognition, I looked at the names in the Hall of Fame before me, and it's like sports royalty in Hamilton. So I'm really honored to be included and feel kind of inadequate about that. I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees. I got to meet them last night, and they're all awesome, and I look forward to hearing from them. I want to thank the committee for this recognition and their hard work. I know that's a tough job to have, and I want to specifically thank JR. He was our trainer when I was at Garfield, and he would take me up every now and then to keep me going. But I've known him for a long time, and his wife Betty as well. So I appreciate that. JR said last night in passing he had some stories on me, so I'm trying to keep him away from my family tonight. Missy, your staff needs to be commended. They already were, but the amount of professionalism and the communication of what was going to happen the last couple of days made it really easy, and I think that was something to be commended on. I want to thank all my former teammates, and there have been a lot of them over the years. Baseball's a team game, and it's, this is an individual recognition. But the guys I played with, many have been lifelong friends and have helped me along my way. Curtis mentioned my family. They're here, and I want to thank them for being here. Vicki, as he said, we've been together 44 years, married, and she's my best friend. Baseball took me to Bowling Green, Kentucky to play at Western, and I met her there. She's born and raised in Bowling Green, and she's also a big baseball fan, but it's not like she had much choice. One of the first times we went out, we went to a baseball game. And we've got two wonderful children. They're both here tonight, Jacob and Kenda. And our family has grown with our son-in-law, Pierce, and he's here tonight as well. It means an awful lot to me that they're here and that they're also interested to hear about what their old man did 50 years ago. We've also been blessed with 4 awesome granddaughters, Merritt, Sailor, Fallon, and Haven, and for us, life is good. Chaotic at times, but good. My brother Tully and his wife Cindy are in attendance, and I got to say that my brother is the one guy in the world that kind of saw my whole career unfold, and I appreciate him. And then there's my mom and my dad. Whatever measure of success I may have had in my life, it would not be possible without them. And some of you who are here tonight spoke to me last night about my parents. You knew them, and your kind words were very much appreciated, but it just cemented for me what I already knew. My parents were my biggest fans, and I surely know that they would have enjoyed being here tonight. My brother and I have talked about that, and they're never far from my thoughts. This honor has caused me to pause and reflect back on events from 50 years ago, and it's been fun to think back on. There's things I can remember in great specificity, games, pitches, things like that. And it's, memory's funny because you could ask me what I had for lunch, and I'd really struggle with that. But it's a team game, baseball is, and I've been blessed to play with a lot of really good teammates and some really good teams, and I've always found it very difficult to talk about myself, and tonight I'm not going to break that habit. I'm almost done, hang in there. I'm a product of Lindenwold. Yeah. We called ourselves Wall Bros back in the day. I don't know if they still do or not, but Lindenwold was a great place to grow up. My love for baseball and playing baseball was born in the backyards of my friends. I know Tommy was part of that group, and we ended up matriculating to Joyce Park. And we played every day, and we only stopped long enough to come home for lunch and supper. But we'd play games like pickup games where a shingle might be a base. We played pickle, we played home run derby, we played pitcher's hand, and there was never a game that was played that we didn't want to win. We were fierce competitors. Our earliest coaches were from our neighborhood. They were our dads. Our dads mostly worked in the factories in Hamilton, Fisher Body, Champion, Armco, Beckett Paper. Those were big employers back then, and most of our dads were there. And they'd often come straight from work in their work clothes and pitch batting practice and hit us grounders, and they taught us how to work hard, and they taught us the value of teamwork and hustle. They taught us about the discipline of practice. Translated means if you don't come to practice, you don't play in the game. My dad was really strict on that. But unbeknownst to us, we were learning skills that would help us throughout our life. And the ball fields down at Joyce Park produced an awful lot of really good ball players. My coaches in school were Dan Brandenburg at GW. I know everybody knows Coach Brandenburg. I played for Jim Kernahan and Bart Pringle at Garfield, and I played summer leagues with a man named Vince Walters. He didn't even have kids playing, but he was a fantastic man. These coaches provided us opportunities to let us play, and you know, in school, these coaches took a chance on me by allowing me to play, and it made me better and helped me in growing my confidence to be able to play at a higher level. I really thank them so much. I was fortunate to be able to play in college, and part of that was playing on some really good teams at Western. Yeah, and our coach was Joel Meary. You know, sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle, and our 80 team was like that. And I think maybe EJ and Brandon know what that is. And by that I mean when you walk out on the field, you know you're going to win, and the team you're playing knows you're going to win. It's just a matter of by how much, and that's the kind of attitude we had on that team. We ended up being South Runner Region runner-up, and we just missed going to the College World Series. But I got lifelong memories and friends out of that, and it was a great time. In closing, I want to thank you again for this honor. While I'm being recognized for an individual achievement, you can appreciate, I hope, from my perspective, there were many folks along my journey who influenced and helped me. I accept this tonight with them in mind and with much gratitude. Thank you again.
Outstanding. Very nice. Appreciate that. Next up, Tyler Elkins, class of 2005. Graduated from Hamilton High School, where he was a 3-year letter winner on the baseball field, a standout catcher under Hall of Fame coach Dan Bowling. Elkins enjoyed an exceptional career for the Big Blue. He finished with a career batting average of 433. His highlight was a .515 average during his senior season. That is the second highest single season mark, I believe, behind Mark Lewis, along with 4 home runs and 34 RBIs. Elkins was twice named first team All-GMC as a catcher and earned Hamilton MVP honors in 2005. He also helped lead the Big Blue to back-to-back GMC League championships during his junior and senior seasons. Elkins continued his career at John A. Logan Junior College, where he helped lead them to an 85-31 record in 2 seasons. Elkins twice received all-league honors, region, and 24 first team. And a tournament in the MVP. He became MVP. He posted a 2-year career batting average of .363 with 140 hits and 100 RBIs. Elkins wrapped up his collegiate career at Bowling Green State University, helping lead the Falcons to back-to-back Mid-American Conference championships. After returning from Tommy John surgery, Elkins was named team captain and earned All-MAC honors as a catcher, and he led the team with an outstanding .406 batting average. Elkins is a graduate of Bowling Green and currently lives in Cincinnati, where he works at Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport. Tonight, speaking on his behalf, is the principal of Hamilton High School, Ty Smallwood.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to just thank the athletic department at Hamilton City Schools. I know the athletic department in general over the years has been a great asset to our community, so if we can thank everyone who made tonight happen, I really appreciate that. All right, so I'm speaking on behalf of Tyler Elkins, and I will joke with him that this is probably the closest I'm ever going to see to this podium, because as a JV All-American under Coach Mike Dole, I never really saw much of that varsity playing time on the football field. But I was really honored to be a teammate of Tyler's, really over the course of his entire life. We played at Westside Little League, seeing him grow up, so I do have a few words on his behalf. But I want to just talk about the tradition of Hamilton sports and what it means to this community. I talk to kids every day, and they have no context of what this type of event means to our entire community, the history it represents. Coach Crouch and I every day are talking about it to our kids, making sure that that true blue tradition carries through to all of our students. And they're going to hear it from me every single day because I'm a big fan. This community has given so much to my family, to really all of us, and I want to make sure that we recognize that with our students. So this is an event where we're standing on the tradition of giants. And I'm glad to say that a lot of the inductees tonight are around my age, so I got to see all of them play, which has been really great. And I thought I was fast. I thought I was the fastest kid in Hamilton until I played with the Underwood family. We ran some sprints, and I was like, okay, I don't know if they got another spot for me, but it's not going to be wide receiver or DB. I thought I knew how to lead. I thought I knew I was going to be a leader until I saw the 2002 offensive line. Who continue to lead in our community. And shout out to you all who are here tonight. You guys have stuck together. That's awesome. And then I thought I could hit a baseball. I did hit 400 in the GMC for 2 years. Pitching was down, according to Dan Greensinger, if anybody knows that. But Tyler Elkins could hit a baseball. And I can tell you that because the work that he put in, just like our previous speaker spoke about, it's the consistency. It's being at Westside Little League, those summer nights, like we remember those days like they were yesterday, with Nikki Murphy as our umpire back then. We just spent a lot of time that a lot of kids don't do now, and I think Tyler is a testament to that. His career speaks for itself, but he was a phenomenal baseball player. And he had what I consider a lot of us in here understand, and this is something that's a little bit of a lost art. He had that true blue humility. Very few speakers tonight are going to want to talk about themselves. Because that's what Hamilton is about. It's that hardworking manufacturing town. Tyler Elkins represents that exact mentality. We never had any rah-rah out of Tyler Elkins. I was his senior year. I was the team captain. You could always count on Tyler to show up, put the work in, and in the bottom of the seventh inning, Coach Reed, who do you want hitting? Tyler Elkins. Because he was consistent. And I think he represents what is so great about this community is that it's not about flash, it's not about show, it's about putting the hard work in, it's about the grit, the resilience of Hamilton, and I think that's what we need to continue to embody, and I think Tyler does that. And here's a great example. Right before this, Terry came up and said, they didn't put in there, that 515 did lead the GMC in hitting. And it's that winner's mentality. Hamilton people have that dog in them, and I think that really speaks to all the people here tonight. It's really an honor to be able to take this on behalf of the Elkins family, on behalf of Tyler. It was great to play with him, to see his career over the course of what he's done, and what he represents to this community means a great deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ty. Ian Emmons, class of 2003, was a standout on the wrestling mat, compiling 128 career victories. At the time, the most in school history, and is now ranked second all time. Emmons was a two-time GMC champion, a two-time sectional champion, and he captured the Southwest Ohio District title during his senior season. A two-time OHSAA state qualifier, Emmons placed 5th at the state tournament as a junior and capped his high school career with a state runner-up finish in his senior year. During his high school career, Emmons earned All-American honors in freestyle, Greco-Roman, and folk-style wrestling. He continues to train and compete in submission wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where he has medaled and or won numerous local, state, and national championships. Emmons currently holds a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Emmons earned a Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and a Master of Business Administration from the University of Cincinnati, and is currently not done with school. He is going to get his PhD in strategic management at the University of the Cumberlands. Emmons recently retired as the Deputy of Fire Chief and now serves as Chief Executive Officer of Healthcare Logistics. Emmons and his wife, Stacy, reside in Sarasota, Florida, a little bit more warmer down there for you, and are the parents of 3 children, Audrey, Ian, and Reese. Ian Emmons. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is a huge honor to be honored by Hamilton High School in the Athletic Hall of Fame. Just a place that I spent my entire life. Up until recently, we moved about 2.5 years ago, and I still, to this day, don't even necessarily know how it's shaped me, but I do know every day I'm reminded by my roots and some of the things that Ty said in terms of just hard work and grit, and those are the things that have been embodied in my entire life through my parents. So it's a huge honor. I do want to just start by thanking everybody that was involved in the process, from the nomination all the way through the selection committee. I do apologize, and I thank Coach Mike Dole and JR. I did not make it overly easy on them. I have a lot going on, and sometimes I get caught up in that, and I am not the best at answering my email and or phone calls. So I do apologize, but I appreciate their persistence, because I would have been sorely disappointed if I would have missed this. So I do appreciate that. And then I want to congratulate my fellow inductees. It's definitely humbling to see and hear everybody else's bio. Just across all the generations, it's absolutely incredible. But I do count myself lucky. I've not looked at all of the other classes in depth all the way through before us, but I do know there are several inductees that I got the honor to go to school with. And I think that's really unique because there's a lot of great athletes that have come through Hamilton High, and I got an opportunity to work alongside and go to school with and know several of the ones that are sitting here today, including Joe Gadd, who is a teammate, and I couldn't be any happier to be here with him. It's a huge honor just in of that. Don't want to go without saying thank you to my parents. I started wrestling very, very young. They carted me all over the United States. I've wrestled in, I feel like at this point, almost every single state. And just there were times where I would wrestle to get the matches in. Apparently they wrestle more matches nowadays. I don't know how that is possible, but they wrestle more matches. But I do remember going to tournaments, and my dad would put me in 3 separate weight classes in 2 separate age groups. And I would go from one mat to the next mat to the next mat. And if I would lose one, I would just bow out of that bracket and just keep going on all the ones that I had won in. So, it would be nothing to go to a Ross tournament and get 25 matches in one day. But again, those were long days. And as a parent now to 3 children, a 9-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 3-year-old, I can't even imagine what that looks like. But my parents did it, and they didn't complain. And, some of the things that I've learned and the person that I am today started way back when. And again, I don't know, as a young child and all the way through my teenage years and young adulthood, I don't know how you can't really perceive how much that is impactful on your life. And then as I get older, and now I'm a parent, it's starting to become a little bit clearer to me. I want to thank my coaches, Tim Brashear, Travis Abrams, who's fortunately here, Chris Derrickson, and Wayne Heitfeld. They were huge, literally in my corner, and then also figuratively in my corner, which was awesome. And then just all the teammates and the Hamilton High School staff and the coaches and the athletic directors and whatnot. It's just, there was a ton of support. And even though wrestling, I know it's picked up in popularity, but back in 2003 and essentially my entire life, wrestling wasn't overly popular. And you'd go to some of the other big schools like Hamilton High, and it would just kind of be on its own. But with Hamilton High, I never felt like we were a secondary sport. Even though football, basketball, baseball, they got a lot of the critical acclaim because they were team sports, and Hamilton was so good. I never felt like we were forgotten about, which is a testament to Hamilton High and all the staff and the coaches and the people that would show up all over the state whenever we would go wrestle. So just a huge thank you to them as well. So I will keep it brief from here on out. I speak for a living for the most part, so I try not to talk any more than I have to. But again, I used to joke that I wish my father, I'm 6 feet tall and 230 pounds, pretty fast, pretty strong, pretty athletic. And for so long, I wish my father had put me in a sport that made money. Wrestling just, there was no end game. And, Brandon and EJ in terms of the NFL. And, I say that, and it's fun to say and it's fun to think about. But at the end of the day, I recognize that I probably would not be the person that I am, the athlete that I am. The person that I've become over the years if it hadn't been for wrestling. So even though it would have been neat to be in a different sport and be in the spotlight in some other way, I don't know if I would have gotten there. Wrestling was the foundation for what did that for me. So, as much as I would have liked to have done other things, I'm glad that wrestling was the sport for me, and it continues to be a sport for me. I still wrestle and I still grapple. I know there's going to be an end date to that. I'm getting older, and 4 knee surgeries later, and just gotten beat up, but it's still something that I enjoy, and it's still something that's formidable in terms of going and doing with the younger crowd, and I enjoy it. But I would say the things that I've taken from that, and again, going back to Ty's speech, the perseverance, the hard work, the grit that comes along with that. I think the biggest thing I took out of that was not being afraid of hard work. Wrestling taught me that, whether it was not eating for days on end and not drinking for days on end to make weight. I'm 230 pounds now. I wrestled 152 pounds in high school, so about 80 pounds difference. I was the same height, so I don't know exactly how that works, but fortunately I learned what food was and what water was, and here I am today. But when you can talk yourself into not doing the essentials of life to make weight, and then it's not even like you just lose weight and you lay around. Like, you lose weight by wrestling for 3 hours a day and then going and competing at a tournament. So I'm very glad that wrestling has evolved in that way, that the kids aren't doing that any longer. But I am thankful for the lessons that it taught me. And the person that it made me become, because now, most importantly, I'm able to pass that on to my children. I'm able to pass that on to the people that I interact with on a daily basis, whether I work with them, work alongside them, or they work for me. It's lessons and principles that I'm able to teach them and show them who they can become, because it's all about persevering through the adversity, and wrestling taught me that from a very, very young age. And ultimately, to go full circle, my wife and I met at a fight. I fought for several years, and she hates fighting. She doesn't really like wrestling, but fortunately, a group of neighbors talked her into going to one of my fights, and that's where I met her. And she turned me down on several dates prior to me wearing her down through perseverance. So eventually, about 4 months later, she said yes, and here we are 14 years later, married with 3 children. So again, that the lessons taught come full circle. I look back on my days at Hamilton High fondly, and with the people fondly, and I do hope to use this as a jumping off point to stay in contact with the people that were dear to me for many, many years. I'd kind of taken a step out. I'm not on social media, and I don't interact with a lot of people, but I am hoping that coming back here tonight and over this weekend and this beautiful ceremony and all the things that you all put together for us, I hope to use that as a way to get back into it and just stay in contact, and not only with the friends and the peers and the coaches, but hopefully getting more involved with Hamilton High, especially as I come back into town. So thank you very much, and congratulations again, everybody.
Good job. Appreciate you, Ian. Thank you. Next up, we have Joey Gadd, class of 2003. Was a well-rounded student athlete who earned multiple varsity letters in wrestling, football, and show choir. His versatility and commitment to excellence were evident both in competition and in the classroom. On the wrestling mat, Gadd established himself as a dominant force, finishing 5th all-time in Big Blue history with 109 career victories. A respected leader among his peers, he served as team captain for 3 seasons and helped set the standard for hard work and accountability within the program. Through his career, Gadd captured several tournament championships, including titles at Fairfield Invitational, LaSalle Invitational, and the sectional tournament. He also made Big Blue wrestling history during his senior season by becoming the first 3-time state qualifier in school history, cementing his legacy as one of the program's all-time greats. He and his wife, Brooke, reside in Hamilton and have 1 child, Anna Lynn. Following his athletic career, Gadd continues to apply the leadership skills and work ethic he developed in the wrestling room to his professional life. Gadd has worked in the manufacturing field for more than 20 years and currently serves as production supervisor at ThyssenKrupp. Sure. Bill Stein of America. Joey Gadd. Congrats, my man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Pastor. Yeah, it's German. It's Tissen. There's silent letters all over. I don't understand it either. Man, you know your resume's weak when you got to put show choir in there. I got to tell you, I got Harvard graduates and NFL rings and Ian Emmons, and I got show choir. All right. Sure, why not? Yeah, no, those. I'm more likely to hit a single right now, and that doesn't say much. I want to thank the committee for your literal vote of confidence. It means the world to me. John Ross, Travis Abrams, you've made it your life's work for the past a few years to make sure that we get some wrestlers into the Hall of Fame, and I know Ian appreciates it. I appreciate it. The accolades that I've seen from some of the other, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole looking at all the ceremony inductions from probably the past 7 or 8 years, and I got to tell you, to stand amongst some of the student athletes that have come out of the school district is nothing shy of, well, certainly intimidating. So thank you for all of that. The reason I stand in front of you today myself, and maybe not my brother or my wife accepting this on my behalf, is nothing short of the hand of God. Make no mistake, the blood of Jesus covered my sins, but the hand of God, man, he's got me safe. Amen for that. So this is the end of my wrestling career. Like, this is what it all added up to. But make no mistake, if there was no face in the trophy case, why that's still there, I don't understand. Or if there was no name in the Hall of Fame, if there were no other accolades to gain, Hamilton Wrestling has given me more than I could have ever hoped to pay back. The sayings and slogans that echo through my mind, the time will come you get to rest, shark smelling blood, and excuses are for losers. These things are seared deeply from hours of drilling, sweating, taking off layers of clothes. This sport is like none other. It's not very popular, I'll grant you. If you would have asked me when I was in 5th grade who my favorite wrestler was, it probably was A.C. Slater. We don't get a lot of love in the wrestling room. But I got the privilege to go with my brother to a couple winter practices at Wilson Junior High at that time, and I walk in and I loved it. I really did. The comments that we would get was, "Man, is that your big little brother? What's going on with him?" Or, "Are you sure he's in 5th grade?" Like, these were enough to keep me coming back. I don't think he appreciated it very much, to be honest, but these types of things would lead to comments from him like, "Man, I bet my little brother can beat up your little brother." He would never admit he liked me tagging along, but stuff like that was enough. And I think that's the most a little brother could ever hope for. So I'm thankful for the care that he gave me throughout dragging me to these practices, football, wrestling, anything else. I was an ogre, so successful for 7th and 8th grade, losing only one match up until the state tournament, setting the bar very high. And it was due to the patience of my coaches at the time. So to Coach Mike Floyd, Granddaddy Floyd, and Coach Russ Lehman, if you run across this, please know that the lessons that you gave and poured into me, invaluable, and I couldn't thank you enough. Wrestling was an easy decision. Coach Floyd promised he would break both of my legs if I didn't wrestle, and Coach Sturgill assured me that no matter how good I was, he was going to cut me in 7th grade. Football was my meal ticket, and I needed to wrestle. So I did. It was a great time at Wilson. I valued my time there. Unfortunately, walking back through that school is like walking through Neverland now. I don't understand it. I don't understand any of the Hamilton City School layouts, to be honest with you. But I loved my time there. Moving up into high school, we continued to play as many sports as possible, and I learned very quickly, as I was pulled up as a freshman into the high school level, that football was not going to be my meal ticket. In the spirit of perseverance we're talking about, what I did was I would start going to the high school workouts throughout the summer and just never leave and see if anyone noticed the little kid that was working out. And they didn't. They really did. I don't think they realized I was still at Wilson. But a couple of coaches, after some practices and two-a-days, I think they realized, like, this kid he ain't supposed to be here. And I commend those coaches for pulling me into the office, sending me back down to Wilson, and allowing me to finish out my junior high football career with my teammates that I had developed such amazing relationships with. It was that type of accountability that Hamilton coaching has always had and always displayed. Brutal honesty for the better of the student athlete. So I got to go back down and finish out my junior high career with my team, and I was very grateful for that. At Hamilton High, I was surrounded by what I would call the best of the best. A big shout out to what we called the Fat Four. Jeremy Lester, James Lester, Christian Knight, modeled after the meat train from Fairfield High School. Appreciate that. The top 4 weight classes, and we were about as thick as you could be. These guys, they were workers. They're still workers. They're still workhorses. They're some of my best friends to this day, and I appreciate them very much. Now, this is going to get a little bit awkward. I apologize. Even if he wasn't in the room, I would tell you that there would be no Hall of Fame Joey Gadd without Ian Emmons. Would not exist. There would be a Hall of Fame Ian without Joey, undoubtedly. But there would be no Joey without Ian. Having somebody of such technical aptitude and someone who knew the mat inside and out and who did this essentially for a living since a young age was invaluable to a guy that had nothing but grit. And that was kind of the story of our relationship, I think, because he's always been the technician, and me is more just like, put your nose down, do the work, and you'll figure it out. Iron truly does sharpen iron, and I was surrounded by some of the best. So I can't thank them enough. They're top-notch. To my beautiful wife, Brooke, who's in attendance, it can't be easy to be married to a 41-year-old ex-athlete. Like, the stuff I come up with and I want to do, there's this race, there's this competition, there's this other option to injure myself. Like, it can't be easy. And she sticks by, and she listens to all the wrestling stories anytime I get around some other meatheads, and it's truly a skill to put up with this type of stuff. So I appreciate that from her. To my daughter, Annie, who might see this one day, know that your dad was something. He really was. To my mom and dad, who spent endless money on health food for 6 years, who did dirty, sweaty, nasty laundry, possibly bacterialized every single night. Like, they're not here tonight. They've passed, but man, they would have got a kick out of this. So I thank you for them. Every now and again, when someone finds out that I wrestled, especially being decades removed from the sport, they'll ask, like, so were you any good? And I'm going to talk about tonight moving forward, obviously, but in the past, I could probably rattle off a couple stats, some successes, a couple things I'm proud of. But truth be told, I wasn't good. Like, I wasn't a good wrestler. Like, Ian was a great wrestler. I wasn't a good wrestler. What I knew is that if this was the best it was going to be, like if high school wrestling was something I was going to hang my hat on and look back fondly on, then it demanded everything that I could give to it. Like, you had to put the work, you had to show up, and you had to understand that what was inside of you was what was coming out of you. And I think that you can do a lot with wrestling or even living with a healthy fear of failure, right? And knowing that, like, there is a point that you're going to have to push past, and some people aren't going to be able to. But if you're the 1% that can, like, if you can do something with whatever it is that you're running away from, you can probably accomplish some pretty remarkable things. And standing in front of you tonight, bathed in the love and some of the adoration I've gained from this, I think that's a testament. And I'm so very grateful to be amongst you guys tonight. Again, thank you to the rest of the inductees, past and present. You've all truly earned it, and I stand amongst some amazing people. Work hard, love Jesus, have a good night.
Amazing. Next up, Bennett Kowalk, class of 2002, was a member of the golf, track and field, and football teams. With his greatest achievements coming on the football field, a 2-year letter winner, Kowalk was a key anchor on the offensive line, playing left tackle, and helped lead Big Blue to the 2001 OHSAA state playoffs, playing for the fellow Hall of Famer Coach Ed Minery. During his senior season, Kowalk earned numerous honors, including First Team All-GMC, First Team All-Southwest Ohio, First Team All-Butler County, First Team All-Cincinnati, and Honorable Mention All-Ohio. Is that it? The definition of true student athlete, Kowalk was the member of the National Honor Society and graduated in the top 20 of his class. Kowalk continued his football career at Harvard University, where he was a 3-year letter winner while at Harvard. His team went to be undefeated against longtime rival Yale. In 2005, the game of his career, Kowalk started in the memorial triple overtime victory over Yale that clinched the league title. Kowalk graduated from Harvard with a bachelor degree in economics. Kowalk then received his master's from Fisher College of Business at The Ohio State University and his CPA. Kowalk held a variety of jobs with financial companies and recently became the chief financial officer at Broadleaf Financial Group. Kowalk and his wife, Kara, reside in Cincinnati. Bennett Kowalk. Congrats, my man. Yeah.
Bear with me. I'm usually don't get nervous, but for some reason this got me pretty good. So this is quite the honor. First and foremost, I would like to thank the committee for their consideration and acceptance. I'm honored to be part of this group. Just listening to the resumes on the basketball court last night was truly humbling, and I'm proud to be even considered in the same breath as many of you. I'll keep this brief, but I do want to tell my story of how I got here by thanking the people that helped me along the way. First, I want to thank my coaches. It doesn't matter how much talent you have can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the proper coaching, you're never going to amount to anything. The two of my earliest coaches actually are in this room right now with us tonight. My father, Scott Kowalk, and Brian Watkins over in the corner. They both coached me on the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade CYO football St. Peter's Eagles. For those who are somehow not acquainted with the mid-90s Eagles, we were dominant. We culminated in an 8-0 campaign in my 6th grade year. No team came close to matching our talent and preparation. Multiple kids on that team actually went on to play college football, and several are already in the Hall of Fames, both here and at Baden. My dad and Mr. Watkins were a huge part of that success. They taught us the fundamentals of the game, things like discipline, toughness, how to deal with adversity, good sportsmanship, and in the case of Coach Watkins, the art of the wet willy through the ear hole of the helmet move, which he did perform on me every time I wasn't paying attention to practice. Believe it or not, I did take a break from football in 7th grade, not coming back to the game until my junior year of high school. You can imagine that's a pretty tough gap to miss, especially during your developmental years. But head coach Ed Menery, who I wish was here tonight, but I did get a chance to see him yesterday, he saw something in me and my ability and gave me a chance to succeed immediately on the offensive line. Coach Tony Mattia, who's not here, but Coach Mike Dole, who is, they were my position coaches. And after a pretty ugly junior campaign, I won't lie, I came back as a senior and they stuck with me and became one of the best tackles in the state. One fun fact about Ed Menery, his last season of coaching was mine and EJ's senior year. I can only think he found it just too difficult to replace us, so he decided to hang it up. Actually, 7 kids from that class signed national letters of intent to play in college, so that team was something special, and it must have been very difficult for the next guy to replace that team. So to all my former coaches, I appreciate your wisdom, guidance, and patience. Next, I want to thank some of my longtime friends, Brad Watkins, Robert Burke, David Grubb. Bo snuck in there in the back. I didn't realize Bo was coming today. Bo, good to see you. Joining the program as a junior should have also been pretty tough on me socially, but these guys welcomed me with open arms. They've been my friends for life, evidenced by them being here tonight. Brad Watkins in particular, he and I have been friends since kindergarten. We actually played YMCA flag football against each other when we were 8 years old. His mom has some really great pictures of me whooping his ass on the field, even back then. Brad, I have the mic, so it's the truth. A friendship that long, all the way since kindergarten, you're going to have your ups and downs, but he and I have endured, and I can always count on waking up in the morning to some very strange Instagram video that he sent me from the night before. I met Robert and Dave my junior year when I joined the team. Dave and I were pretty inseparable in high school. We would often go on double dates with our girlfriends at the time. And he and I are also the 2 tallest on the team. And we called ourselves the Twin Towers, which was a killer nickname until September of 2001. Robert was one of the smartest guys on the field. He always knew what everybody's assignment was during a play, and even overruling our coach, Coach Mattia, on how we should block up a particular defense. In fact, the only time in my entire career as a football player that I was penalized was we broke the huddle in Middletown, and I wasn't sure what the snap count was, and I would normally check with Robert, but I didn't that play, and I jumped off sides. We ended up driving to win the game anyway, so I got bailed out, but I should have asked Robert what the snap count was then. But thank you for all your friendship throughout these years. You guys are my brothers for life. Although he's not here today, I'd also like to thank my older brother, Scott Kowalk, also a pretty good player here at Hamilton in his day. Those that grew up with us know my brother was a mountain of a human being, and it was difficult growing up with him. You learn how to dodge some punches, and you get pretty tough. Only 15 months apart, we competed in a lot of things growing up, and it was actually a little bit of old-fashioned sibling rivalry that brought me back to football my junior year. When I was a sophomore on the golf team, I can't believe that was in there, my brother was recruited to play football in the Ivy League. Went to Brown to play, and in true little brother fashion, I looked at it and was like, well, I can do that. I'm going to go play at Harvard. So I did. So without that little unspoken push from him, who knows where I would be today. Lastly, and most importantly, I'd like to thank my parents, Scott and Vicki Kowalk. You could not imagine a better set of sport parents. They never missed a game, made sure I had everything I needed to be successful. Growing up, my dad would drop everything to play catch in the yard on Marcia Avenue. I still have the memories. He was both coach, as I mentioned earlier, but also a counselor and a psychologist in a way. He would grade my performances after each game, very fair grader, but he was always that rational, calming voice for a kid who was just way too hard on himself, even to this day. My mom was and is the most selfless person I know. She put us ahead of everything, carting us around to practice, making sure we had a good pregame meal. And if you saw me back then, I didn't miss many meals at all from my mother, great cook. And even after high school football games, she was involved in feeding the entire team. We had to feed the team, and she was wonderful with that. You both set the example of hard work and dedication, and it pays off, and I still hold it to this day. I love you both very much. This honor is very much yours as it is mine. I could not be here without you. Thank you. Lastly, even though I gave it my all, my college career didn't quite turn out like I thought. My football career ended after my final season. I never got my cup of coffee in the big time, so to speak, so I had to go pro in something else. But the discipline learned, the relationships I made here in Hamilton provided that solid foundation for success in the future. So say again to the committee, coaches, my friends, and my family, thank you.
Jim Lacey, class of 1958, was a talented multi-sport athlete for Big Blue, lettered in football, basketball, and baseball. He played football under the Hall of Fame coach Lou Florio, alongside Hall of Famers Don Curtis and Jerry Shrivner. Emerging as a standout defensive lineman, as a senior, Lacey was voted the team's most defensive lineman, earned Greater Ohio League All-Star honors, received All-State recognition, and was selected to play in the Ohio North-South All-Star Game. On the basketball court, he served as the co-captain with fellow Hall of Famer Tony Blaine, was named team MVP, and still ranks among the top 100 scorers in program history with 440 career points. Lacey attended Ohio University, competing in both football and basketball before serving in the United States Navy, where he continued to represent his country in athletics. Following his service, he worked for 30 years at Procter & Gamble and later coached basketball and baseball at Cincinnati Christian High School. Jim and his wife, Dorothy, recently celebrated 61 years of marriage and now enjoy retirement in Florida with their 2 children and 3 grandchildren. And to receive this honor, Brett Lacey will come up at this time. Looks like you have an original coat on as well. The OG, that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you're checking your programs and you're like, that's not an 85-year-old man up there. So I'm honored. I got to meet with Dad this week down in Sarasota, and he was talking about some things he wanted to say and just reminiscing about Big Blue. And he said, I got something for you. He goes, I got this jacket I want you to wear. And I was like, man, I was so emotional. And I said, Dad, it smells like mothballs. It's like 70 years old. But on behalf of my dad, he's really honored to be just in the company with these great athletes and people of Hamilton. Thank you for the committee for getting him in. Been a long time coming. Sorry. Been a long time coming. It means a lot to him. It means a lot to our family. So thank you for that. Dad was unbelievable athlete. He was kind of like the OG big man on campus, right? He didn't say much. He was really, really quiet. But he spoke on the field and on the diamond. He was an unbelievable athlete, but he was a better father. He's a Christian man, and he's an amazing husband. So I know he puts that above everything else that he has accomplished in his life. He was a great athlete his whole life. He was a scratch golfer, which did not pass along to me, unfortunately, as a 16 handicap. Thank you. He pitched a perfect game in fast pitch softball with Mr. Curtis over there. He bowled a couple 300 games in bowling. So I mean, he could do it all. He was a stud. And again, here I am accepting on his behalf because this is as close as I'll get to the podium, as you mentioned earlier. So, quick story. So, funny story. When he went to the Navy, so he spent a couple years at Ohio University, played baseball, he played basketball, cup of coffee, real quick, he was in and out. He went into the Navy. They shipped him off to, was supposed to be Iceland. He was supposed to go to Iceland. As our government did, they sent him to Africa instead by accident. So he's in Morocco, and the CO is there, and he's trying to figure out what to do with him. He says, I don't know what to do with you yet, so sit tight. So he sat there for like 2 weeks, didn't do anything, until the CO found out that he was an all-star athlete in high school. He found out that he was a big man on the basketball team, so he pulled the orders, and he kept him in Africa for the next 3 years. And so he played all around the world. He played in Italy. He played in Spain. He got to do really cool things in the Navy. So he, as much as his time in high school was important to him, his time serving the country was right at the top of the list. He loved that. So I got a couple of things I want to share. He gave me some notes before I left, so I want to read those off to you. It says, congratulations to the 29th class into the Hamilton Athletic Hall of Fame. I wish I was able to join you in the celebration, but I am happy that my family and teammates are here in my honor. I would like to thank the Hall of Fame committee and Hall of Fame members and my teammates for this induction night, including my special friend and 2010 Hall of Fame quarterback, Don Curtis. Thank you for everything you did to get him in here. And also, 2003 Hall of Fame induction, Tony Blaine, big man on the basketball team with Pops, so he always has a special place in his heart for you guys. So he wanted to thank a couple coaches as well. Let me get the list out here. So Coach Stackera, and these are all Hall of Fame guys too. These guys are all in here. Coach Florio, Coach Metcalf, Coach Scholler, Coach McCollum, and Coach Sharp. He speaks about these guys with such reverence, and I love it. I love hearing him reminisce. He's 85, and he kind of tells me these stories, and he had flat top. He wore Chuck Taylors, man. Like I said, OG basketball guy. He was so quiet, but so dominant on the court. The last little bit, he says, I cherish the time that I had at Hamilton High School, and it's a wonderful honor to be recognized for my achievements way back in 1958. Finally, I'd like to thank my wife of 61 years, Dorothy Lacey, Dorothy Sparks, for some of you who knew her back then, and the class of 1958, along with my two children, Christy Wells, who's back there, and then myself. I will always have a special place in my heart for Hamilton High School Big Blue. Thank you.
Excellent, Brett. You did well.
All
Cassidy Hicks Rell, class of 2015. She was a 4-year varsity standout on the tennis team. During her career, Cassidy recorded over 90 wins in her matches. Cassidy earned second team All-GMC honors her freshman season and first team All-GMC honors her sophomore, junior, and senior years. Cassidy was the GMC singles champion on 3 occasions in 2012 and 13. She was named the GMC Player of the Year. Cassidy capped her high school tennis career by capturing the Division OHSAA State Singles Championship. Cassidy was also a member of the National Honor Society and the J. Kyle Braid Leadership Foundation. Cassidy continued her tennis career by earning a scholarship to Wofford College. Cassidy was a 4-year varsity member of the tennis team. She earned Southern Conference All-Freshman honors, was later named first team All-Southern Conference in doubles, and during both her junior and senior seasons. Cassidy's doubles team was ranked 52 in the nation her senior season. Cassidy graduated from Wofford College with a bachelor degree in accounting. She works as an accountant and lives in Hamilton with her husband, Nicholas. Together, they are proud parents of 3 children, Peyton, Sierra, and Lucy. Cassidy Hicks Rell. You're welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. It is with great pride that I stand here today and be inducted into the Hamilton High School Hall of Fame, the same way I took great pride in representing Hamilton High School on the tennis court. Although tennis can be organized in a team setting, tennis is at its core an individual sport, and with that comes many challenges. I played my first tournament when I was 9 years old. I was out on the court with no coaches, no referees, no parents. It was just me and the other 9-year-old girl across the net trying to enforce the rules, to make our own line calls, figure out why we keep missing our forehands, and most importantly, try to beat our biggest opponent, ourselves. A big serve and a powerful forehand in tennis are nice, but you cannot be successful in tennis without mental toughness. You have to learn to talk to yourself instead of just listening to yourself. You have to learn to believe you can still come back and win even when the scoreboard says otherwise. And you have to learn to move on when you get cheated by a bad line call, or try yet another strategy when it seems like no matter what you do, your opponent just keeps beating you. And you have to do all of this by yourself. There's no room to hide, there's no bench to sit out, no time to collect your thoughts, no outside counsel. It's pretty intense for a 9-year-old girl out there on the tennis court, if you ask me. But through this, you build self-confidence and mental toughness that carry you far beyond the tennis court. You learn to be resilient, you learn to have the memory of a goldfish, you learn the power of believing in yourself. You learn that pressure is a privilege, to control what you can control and to move on from what you can't control. And there's not a day that goes by in my life where I don't lean on these skills and things that I developed from playing tennis. However, on the journey to winning state, which as mentioned was kind of the pinnacle of my high school career, I became aware of something even more critical than what I had already learned from tennis, which was that although tennis is an individual sport, you cannot be successful at anything in life alone. The greatest successes and triumphs do not come without a team behind you, lifting you up and pushing you along. The state trophy I won should have the names of so many other individuals on it. Roland, my coach here, who devoted so much time to me on the tennis court day in and day out at a tennis club that became my second home. That's Riverside Athletic Club in Hamilton, if you aren't aware. There's some really amazing tennis happening there with juniors from all over the area, not just in Hamilton. That year, My senior year, he made me do more side-to-side drills than I ever thought I would do in my life, but it gave me the endurance that I needed at state. To my high school coach, Sharon Palacci. She was really one of the first examples to me of what it means to have a relentlessly positive attitude on the tennis court and be resilient in the face of adversity. Her encouragement on the court helped carry me through some of the most challenging times in my high school tennis career. To my sister Caroline, I don't think being dragged around to all my tournaments as a kid is one of her favorite childhood memories, but she is my biggest defender on and off the court. Plus, she was my only high school doubles partner. We have a pristine 1-0 record, which hasn't been brought up so far in my accomplishments, but I wanted to put that out there. And I have to thank my mom, who is just the most dedicated fan you could have on the tennis court and on your side. Both my high school team and my college team would agree. They could tell you that so I went to college in South Carolina, and even then she would come to every match and she would make sure everyone on the team had everything they needed, especially a Reese's peanut butter cup after the match. You always need one of those. So my high school and college teammates had that for 4 years, but I was lucky enough to have her there my whole career. And thank you to my dad, who gave me a vision from the day I was born. The day I was born, he put a miniature tennis racket in my hand and took a picture of me. So that's vision right there. So that pushed me every day. At the time, I felt that his constructive criticism was hard on me, but now I realize what a critical role he played in pushing me to not be comfortable and coast along, but to always push myself towards greatness and raise the bar. And I also need to thank God, who, through grace, has just taught me that my worth does not come from my performance, which gives me the freedom to do my best in life without fear. And there's so many others who showed up for me throughout high school and beyond in my tennis career, people who came up to Columbus for the state tennis tournament and supported me along the way. I could go on and on about the ways that tennis and the Hamilton community have shaped me for the better, but want to be respectful of everyone's time. The list could go on and on. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for giving me this honor. Thank you to all the people who came tonight to support me. Thank you to my husband, who to this day encourages me to play tennis. You can catch me now playing a Friday night doubles league. That gets pretty intense. That's fun as well. And thank you to all the people who helped me get here and have played a part in my success. And congratulations to all the other inductees. This is a really impressive group, and I'm really honored to be a part of it. So thank you.
Congratulations. Next up, we have Dwayne Stacy, coach. He's the class of 1983 at Northwest Senior High School. While attending Miami University, he accepted his first coaching position with Fairfield City Schools in 1985. He landed in Hamilton as the freshman volleyball coach the next year. His coaching journey also included coaching volleyball at Wilson and Miami University, the Hamilton Regional Campus. He also coached wrestling at George Washington Junior High. Dwayne served as varsity fast-pitch softball coach for Hamilton High, capturing the GMC championship in 1991 and 1992, extending the community impact of the Big Blue Athletics. In 1993, Dwayne was asked to create an adult handicapped softball league in Butler County for the MRDD. That league continues today and plays at the Joe Nuxall Miracle Fields in Fairfield. In 2017, Dwayne was one of the only 8 volleyball coaches across the United States named to lead a club volleyball organization for the Upward Stars Corporation. In the GMC, Dwayne won Coach of the Year awards for fast pitch softball 91 and 92, boys volleyball 2017 and 18, and for girls volleyball 2023 and 24. Dwayne joins former players and fellow Hall of Fame members Angela Harris Martin, Kara Bray, and Kelly Konofkin. Thank you. Appreciate that, Connaughton. Dwayne retired from Hamilton City School District after teaching physical education for 35 years and coaching 39 years. He lives with his wife Sharon and has 2 daughters. Dwayne Stacy. Congratulations.
I can be rather loquacious, so fortunately for you, I do have it written down so we can get you folks out of here at a reasonable hour. I have no pedigree. I still question myself, why? Why am I here? What have I done? But looking back, I couldn't be more proud of being here in Hamilton and having been able to participate. Could you swipe my phone for me? It's time for medicine. Some of you can relate. I also would like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for your consideration of me for this prestigious life moment and extend my congratulations to the class of 2026 and those classes before. With love and gratitude, I extend thanks to my family and friends, my beautiful wife Sharon of 38 years, our daughters Samantha and Kendall for their willingness to share me with my other family. I stand before you today only through the grace and the mercy of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Psalm 139 verse 16 reads, "You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed." Again, growing up, there's absolutely no way I would have imagined being a teacher, let alone being a coach. But falling back and knowing that I'm held in the hands of God, I know it was His plan all along, and it became my duty to do what I was supposed to do. And my goodness, my mouth is dry. When I retired from teaching and then from coaching, it was the first time in my life that honestly I felt like I could breathe. And it wasn't because I didn't enjoy what I was doing. It was because of the pressure that I would put on myself to make sure that I never stopped pushing. It was fear of settling down and becoming comfortable that kept me striving to improve and trying to keep up with the latest trends in teaching and coaching. Changes keep coming fast. I don't want to be stuck in the past. The pressure to stay current, relevant, and impactful weighs heavy on a coach. Today, I'm truly free to be able to enjoy my time with my wife and family and my grandson and with the family and friends without the fear of failing those I have been entrusted to serve. I was encouraged to teach and coach by my high school wrestling coach, 119 boys. Not even a weight class, I don't think, anymore. He pushed me to coach because I never stopped teaching. I would coach during practice, and much to his chagrin, I would even coach my opponents during the match. As I think about the countless student athletes and coaches that I've had the pleasure of working with, and some even showed up tonight just to surprise me. Love you, Tyre. I can't help but see God's hand in my life. I came to realize that He would place individuals who were struggling in various aspects of their personal lives for me to walk alongside, hoping to provide guidance and support that might hopefully prove to be beneficial for them. As a coach, you're often remembered for the team records. But as a student-centered coach, you know that the player takes precedence over the team. If we can help the individual improve, the team will improve. My players heard me say things like, better me, better we, a lot during their time with me, because it was important to me that they understood their personal commitment to themselves, that they understand their commitment to their team, and how that would translate into a productive, happier life in the real world. As with all of us, however, what's important is that we understand that failure isn't final, it's formative. We can and we should learn from those shortcomings. Missy shared with me last night that winning the GMC Coach of the Year award in 3 different sports is not only rare, it could be unheard of until now. I am grateful for the GMC coaches who look deeper than the season records, but into the growth of a program and its players. I am blessed to have worked alongside with some very talented leaders, from John Punt to Missy Harvey. That's 9 athletic directors. They provided the direction and the resources to allow me to grow as a coach. To the high school administrators who went out of their way to support the athletes and coaches, from Lou Florio to Ty Smallwood, I say thank you. To the unheralded who make the seasons possible, the athletic secretaries, Marcia White, all the way to Jamie Cox. Thank you. Let's not forget the building custodians, the bus drivers, the safe and secure monitors, the police officers, the ticket takers, the volunteers. Thank you. No coach is provided the opportunity to impact lives if any of these positions mentioned don't provide their services as well. We see you, and we love you, and we thank you. As new challenges present themselves to me both physically and cognitively, I stand back and remember that God is in control and that God is good at all times. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for supporting your inductees tonight, and may God bless each and every one of you.
Congratulations. Brandon Underwood, class of 2004. Excelled in both football and track. Standout defensive back for the Blue, he earned his first team All-GMC, All-District, and All-State honors. Was ranked 15th in the cornerback nationally and 10th overall player in Ohio. And competed in the Cincinnati East-West, Ohio North-South, and the Big 33 Ohio versus Pennsylvania games. On the track, Underwood set the school record in the 400-meter dash, a mark that still stands, and qualified for the state meet in the 200, 400, and the 1,600-meter relay. Is that all you could do? Underwood earned a football scholarship to The Ohio State University, playing 2 seasons and appearing in the 2006 National Championship game, before transferring to the University of Cincinnati, where he started in the nation's top-ranked secondary. He was a unanimous first-team All-Big East selection and competed in the East-West Shrine Game. Selected 187th overall by the Green Bay Packers in a 2009 NFL Draft. Underwood was a member of the Packers' 2010 Super Bowl championship team. He later played in the CFL with the Toronto, whatever that is, Argonauts, and the Calgary Stampeders, winning a Grey Cup with Calgary in 2014. Underwood resides in Hamilton, recently earned his degree with the University of Cincinnati, works as a home remodeling specialist, and is a father of 6 children: Cameron, Blake, Carter, Isabella, Amelia, and Max. Brandon Underwood. Congrats, man.
Appreciate that. It's the Argonauts. It's funny because he said whatever that name was, and he was talking about the Toronto Argonauts, and I was kind of the same way because, anyways, let me start over. So I'm incredibly grateful and humble to the committee, and I appreciate you guys for the consideration and and to be able to accept this amongst the room of talent. Like, I'm reading these bios, and I'm like, I don't even know how I'm on the stage right now, you know? So it's, this is really special for me on a lot of different senses, because it's been 22 years since I graduated from Hamilton. And 22 is a special angel number, and it means resilience, it means strength, and it means perseverance. So it's really special that this full circle moment in my life has come. And I didn't get here by myself. You know, I have the most incredible mother and father in the world. There's nothing that I would be without my mother. She has literally been the backbone of my family, right, wrong, or indifferent. She has literally done things that a mother, that I know other people who have moms, and I'm like, does your mom, like, you know, like, not my mom. I'm like, my mom will go above and beyond for her children, and she's shown and taught me what real love truly was. I've had a crazy life. It's actually been very interesting. But like some things, like I just heard, he said, failure, what'd you say? Failure is not final, it's formative. And that is it's a testament to just what I've had in my life. And I just can't even begin to tell you, I'm just incredibly, I see Ian, I'm like, yo, Ian and Joey were amazing at wrestling. I'm like, these are like literally superheroes to me. You know, my brother was, in all honesty, EJ is literally the best athlete I think I've ever seen in my life. So I'm very like, this moment, I don't take this moment for likely of anything less than like, this is one of the most incredible moments in my life. I have some friends here, Jermaine, Nathan. Now these guys right here, Nathan Tyre, he is battling cancer right now. And this man has seen the come up of all the work that was put in outside of the work that we would put in at the school. I had two friends, Derek Huff and Brandon Harris, and they were the guys that pushed me to be the best athlete while I was here. And it was just the amount of talent that runs alongside in this city is incredible. Like, and that's the one thing that I've been able to take. Football has taught me a lot of different things. Football teaches you how to handle adversity in life, you know? That's probably one of the craziest things, like being able to understand that, like, it's not over until, you know, God says it's over. So I'm just extremely grateful that I get a chance just to share the stage and just to see people like Jermaine and Nathan who have seen the whole entire journey. Like, we started at Lakota together, and then we transferred here. Quick thing about how we actually got up here. I spent 5 years in Cleveland. So my first 5 years of life were in Cleveland. My next 5 years of life were in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where we started playing football at. So me, EJ, and Jamal, we played for the Linden Pee Wee Packers. So Green Bay Packers has been my favorite team since I was a kid. So naturally, getting drafted by them was like a dream come true. So I feel like with how God has continued to restore and just continue to bring me through things and continue to give me opportunities to use this platform of what football has done for me, you know what I mean? So I'm incredibly grateful that I get to just share this moment with my brother, though. And that's really, for me, like when Coach Dole called me and he was telling me that, you know, we're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. And, you know, I think my first protest was like, you know, before I even knew EJ was going in, I was like, wow, I was nowhere near the athlete my brother was. So it's just, this is such a surreal moment because we both had the opportunity to go to The Ohio State for football. And it's crazy because it took me years and years and years later to realize the best really go there to play. And I didn't understand when I was at Ohio State the magnitude of the stage, and everybody's really not your friend. So it's really crazy that you can really get it's really crazy that you can really get beside yourself and you can forget where you come from. And I remember when we were transferring from Lakota to come, when my mom and dad were figuring out where we were going to transfer at. And my dad, let me just stop. My father is never, he coaches me every morning. Every day he wakes up, he sends scripture, he sends all different types of messages. He's in Arizona, Scottsdale, so it starts at like 5 in the morning. So at 5 our time, he's up his time sending these messages, and he's always just encouraging. And my mother and my father have always been they've been the biggest coaches that have literally never, ever given up on continuing to make sure that the men that they raised were the men that the world sees. So I'm actually incredibly grateful to be where I'm at today, and I wouldn't change a thing in my life to be where I'm at today, because I told my mom, I had a short career, but a really good one. I like to think, you get to the NFL, you have your moment, adversity happens, your parents keep coaching you through things, but it's just to be able to get to this point right now. I told my mom, I graduated last year, so I went back to school 17 years later. I graduated with my degree because that was really important for my mother and my father to see me finish that journey. And I told my mom, I said, when I get a chance, like I retire, I'm gonna retire you. So she retired last year, and then I retired. So we kind of living a retired life, and it's just been an amazing thing that I've been able to I helped my dad get his house out there when I was still playing ball. So now I get the opportunity on the back end of things to do something really special for my mom. So I've been kind of cooking this whole thing up for the last things. And the best part about it is you don't get to these kind of places, and it takes a village. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes a village to get people to where God intends them to be. So it's just been a blessing that my brother EJ is sharing the stage with me tonight, but even more than that, my brother Jamal. Now, if you guys remember, Jamal was like 5'5" or 5'6", so he always had a chip on his shoulder, and then he grew to like 6'1". So he has Napoleon's complex still with the height. But what a lot of people don't really know is between me, Jamal, and EJ, probably the most pure athlete. He was a better basketball player, I feel like, than EJ actually was on the street court. But then we have Nathan here. So me, Nathan, EJ, Jermaine, the games that we used to play outside to really hone in on the things that were going on and all the talent that was here, you just feel like when you showed up for work, like Ty, when you showed up for school, it was just like, our practices were funner than the games. I mean, we went 0 for our junior year. So just the love and the support from the city, just to have that, and I just feel very incredible and grateful, and thank you so much for having me.
Truly a unique and amazing opportunity for brothers to go in together. So last but not least, we have EJ Underwood, class of 2002, a multi-sport athlete who excelled in football, basketball, and track and field. Underwood was a 3-time first-team All-GMC selection. He earned honorable mention All-State honors as a junior before being named first-team All-State and Nike All-American during his senior season. Recognized as the top defensive back in the state, Underwood earned selections to the Ohio North-South All-Star Game and the prestigious Big 33 All-Star Game. Underwood is a 2-time All-GMC basketball selection, earning first-team honors as a junior and being named Butler County Player of the Year. Underwood earned a scholarship to the Ohio State University, where he was selected to the Big Ten All-Freshman team during his freshman season, and was a member of the 2002 undefeated national championship team, playing in all 14 games with 2 starts. A 3-letter winner for the Buckeyes, Underwood completed his collegiate career at Pikeville College, where he earned all-conference honors. Underwood went on to compete professionally at the highest level, playing in the NFL with the New York Giants, the New York Mets, Buffalo Bills, and the Minnesota Vikings. His career also included time in arena football and the Canadian Football League, where he received postseason honors. Underwood currently resides in Virginia and is employed in real estate and wellness services. Underwood is the father of 4 children, Ariel, Michaela, Sophia, and Zoe. EJ Underwood. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, everything Brandon said, and we'll just go home from there, right? First off, I'm gonna hold up the microphone closer to my mouth because Brandon, you was driving my mom crazy over there. You had it down here, and she's like, "Oh my God, please raise the mic up." So we're going to fix that right now. But first off, thank you to the Hamilton High Hall of Fame and Athletics for voting me in, and to all the inductees. I am so grateful and so honored and proud of this moment. My story's crazy. So if it wasn't for Ryan King, who came here before me, we wouldn't even be a part of the Hamilton family. The King family, that's like close friends of ours since I was born. Ryan and Aaron, you know, they came over here to Hamilton. And then my sophomore year at Lakota East, we played Hamilton, so that was like my Super Bowl. Jermaine, Nate, you guys remember that? I probably watched that film from Big Blue games like, I don't even know how many like hours that week, because I just wanted to beat Ryan because he went to Hamilton. And then I come and play against you guys and have 3 interceptions and take 1 to the house. And so, you know, I got the win that night, but then fast forward a whole another year later, I get an opportunity to be welcomed in by Coach Menery. You know, when he found out that I wanted to come here, he said, "Oh, absolutely, come on." You know, you're gonna get some interceptions for us instead of, you know, doing harm or whatnot. But no, it was crazy journey. Nathan Tyre, Jermaine, we all came from Lakota. The Tyres were our neighbors. And all those battles that we had together in the backyards, oh my goodness, that made me who I am today, because of, we would not, like Mom will always try to like call us in, but we were coming in after dark because, you know, everybody had to win the last game or whatever in 21. But thank you guys for being here, for sure. It means so much to me. To all my other teammates, Grub, Bo, all you guys back there, man, I'm getting nervous. I don't know why I'm getting nervous right now, but thank you guys and Brad for welcoming me in. Welcome arms or whatever. It really meant so much to me, to be all the way like honest, because I didn't know you guys like that. You guys could have probably hated me. I don't know, because being a kid, you know. Thank you. But you guys made it very, very easy. Kenny Harper, who's not here, Andy Johnson, they're a big part of my story as well. You know, when I got the call from Coach Dole, I was very, very like just shocked and surprised and grateful. And then when he told me I had the opportunity to go in with my brother, that made it even more special. So thank you for that call, Coach. But no, Hamilton molded me and made me the man that I am today. Being here actually prepared me for The Ohio State University. Nobody told me about like the eyes that you would have by playing at a university like that. And then not only did I get a chance to play, I had the opportunity to start on a national championship team that went undefeated that year, and started a couple games as a true freshman. But it was what I learned from Hamilton to help me, motivate me, and stay in good faith with God, to trust in my abilities in anything I do. Coach Allen, I'm gonna give you a shout out too. It didn't hit me until I was walking through the school yesterday. I was like, wow, this place is like so different. I wish I was here when, you know, when we had the new gym and stuff like that. But I do remember the times that you would catch me in the hallway. You pull me to the side and you would start talking about life and basketball for sure. Making sure I'm getting my shots up while I'm in football seasons, and I definitely was. You know, just looking at all my accomplishments, like I'm a shy guy. Honestly, I hate talking about myself. Like, I have friends and family who do that for me, and they do a great job of that. So, so it's kind of like weird just to talk about myself. But you know, when I reflect, I accomplished a lot, and I'm so thankful that I got a chance to have my baby brothers, Jamal and Brandon, like see my accomplishment, because in our house is very competitive. If you know us, we're always arguing or bickering and fighting about something because we all just want to be the best at anything that we do. So just being that example and watching, and then watching me, you know, it made me so happy. And then, you know, when Brandon got the opportunity to get drafted to the Packers, me and him, you know, it was a very emotional moment for both of us because it felt like I got drafted. And I think we cried. We couldn't even get a word out because we were so proud. And to see him win a Super Bowl, and I missed mine by a couple months. But when Brandon won the Super Bowl, I felt like I won the Super Bowl. Just like when we won the national championship, I know he felt like he won the national championship. But regardless of the factor, it all started because of Blue. So when I won my freshman year, I was like, that was for Hamilton. I know when Brandon won that Super Bowl in 2010, that was for Hamilton because we're a product of this great community. And I cannot believe how much this place has changed, and it's beautiful. Like, I don't even reckon, like, this is the old movie theater. I remember coming here, going to a movie in high school, and now we're in a great event center, and it's beautiful. You know, to my kids, my youngest son, he's here. My other daughter, she couldn't come because she's in a travel volleyball tournament in Cleveland. But, you know, I'm just glad that you got to make it here, Zoe, to see me. It's kind of weird because, like, yesterday it hit me. I was like, wow, my kids is here. Like, he gets a chance to see his dad in the picture frame, in the Hall of Fame stuff, and you know, I'm so grateful. So hopefully one day, even my nephews, you guys like look at your uncles and your dad, and you guys make your own history. And I know you guys will. To my parents, everybody know my pops was very interesting guy, to say the least. He stayed on top of us, and he made us who we are in sports. You know, Mom, you was always there for us. Between AAU, travel baseball, basketball, like football, it's 24/7 in the Underwood household. So I'm just thankful that you guys gave me life. And you know, I tell my mom all the time, I was like, Mom, you got 2 kids who made it to the NFL. One who's a national champion, another one who's a Super Bowl champion, Grey Cup winner. I won a few arena football champions, but now you get to have 2 Hall of Famers as your kids. So just another check off the list or whatever. But no, you know what? Thank you for this honor. Like I said, I'm truly grateful for this. And let's go Blue.
Excellent. Congratulations. All right, as our evening comes to an end, I ask you just for a couple more minutes. Remember, I am a preacher. So often when we say we're closing, what does that mean? We're just getting started. But I promise you this, we will be out of here in just a couple of moments. But can you do me a favor, please? Can you please appreciate Missy and her team and what they have done this evening? Truly an incredible night. Thank you. Mr. Dole, thank you so much. To the committee, outstanding. Just absolute excellence, an honor to be a part of it. Can we one more time please congratulate all the inductees one more time, please. Congratulations to all of you. If I might take a moment and warm up for myself, I'll have 2 services tomorrow, so I want to give you some inspiration, and then we will end our evening. Tonight isn't just about celebrating wins, records, and championships. It's about honoring lives shaped by sports, lives that have been shaped and are lived with purpose. Because it's best, because sports doesn't just produce athletes, it supports and it creates individuals who are disciplined, who have incredible character, and create legacy. The 3 life lessons that we see and we were reminded of tonight truly matter. The first one is this: purpose is built through discipline. Not one of these inductees got this opportunity to grace this platform today without personal discipline. Might I say, it was not an accident, it was intentional. James Clear, a resident of Hamilton and a book writer, said, "You will never outperform your habits." Long before the spotlight, there were early mornings, extra reps, and sacrifices that no one applauded. Sport teaches us that discipline always comes before destiny. What you consistently practice eventually defines who you become. Point number 2. Character matters more than the scoreboard. Sport has a way of revealing who we are, especially under pressure. Haywood Braun said, "Sports do not build character, they reveal it." Records fade, titles are eventually broken, but integrity, resilience, and humility last. The people we honored tonight weren't just great competitors. They were people others trusted, respected, and followed. Real legacy. Number 3, you were never meant to win alone. Behind every great athlete is a team, coaches, teammates, family, and community. Ken Blanchard said, "None of us is as smart as all of us." Sport teaches us that greatness is multiplied when it's shared. True success isn't just what you achieve, it's who you lift along the way. In closing, to the inductees, thank you for reminding us that sport is more than a game. It's preparation for our lives. Pablo Picasso said this: "The purpose of life is to find your gift and then give it away." Congratulations to the Hall of Fame inductees. You didn't just play the game, you lived with great purpose. Again, congratulations. Thank you for the honor of being here this evening. To all that have been a part of this, thank you so very much. God bless you. Go in grace. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.